Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. This webinar will be covering the FusionONE toolset. My name is Joe Consobagno. I'm an operations manager and do the sales for our managed services here at IntegraONE. I'll be discussing a toolset here that we use internally across 5,000 some odd endpoints, and also that we allow our customers to use as well. So today's agenda, So today's agenda will be an introduction to IntegraONE. We'll also be talking about FusionONE managed services overall. And then we'll do a deep dive into our toolset. What are we setting out to accomplish with our toolset? What is IntegraONE, and what does that do? We'll talk about alerting and ticketing with it. We'll talk about patch management, scripting in the Communicator, web root antivirus, and then we'll do keys to the FusionONE Advantage, as well as a wrap up. So who are IntegraONE? IntegraONE's a company that's been around for 28 years. We have 84 members, growing strong business relationships through lasting partnerships and dependable services. We have 5 offices: Allentown, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Wilkes-Barre. So what are we doing? We're combining experienced engineers with leading technology to deliver tailored solutions and services across the Mid-Atlantic. As you can see there, there's a list of our solutions there, pretty heavy in security technologies, a deep bench of networking guys, Cisco, Fortinet. We deliver cloud services, but the main topic of this is FusionONE managed services and a certain sector out of that. The markets we serve, our key markets are higher ed, financial, K through 12, and commercial. We also dabble in government with police departments and municipalities. So talking directly about FusionONE, what is FusionONE? It is our managed services platform, and what it delivers is increased user productivity and uptime, better network stability, decreased security risk, lower overall IT cost, as well as the highest level responsiveness and support. So those are the 5 big things that we hit with our managed services department. And how we get there is by having tool sets that allow us to do centralized management, allow our guys to scale, look at 5 or 10 servers over the course of a couple minutes, making sure that they're online, making sure that space isn't running low, making sure that our clients are getting the best usage out of the hardware that they have on site and the services that they are expecting every morning when they come into work. So I'll talk about how we hit all 5 of these with a tool set that you guys can use as well. Our managed services team, right now it has about 15 years of experience. We've been doing this since 2004, 2005. We have 32 team members that are using the software we're gonna talk about here every day, and we're supporting over 5,000 endpoints. So that's 400 plus servers, 4,500 desktops, and 1,000 plus network devices. And network devices would be firewalls, switches, routers. So what's IntegraONE looking to have with you? And that's a valuable partnership. Our team of responsive and knowledgeable experts take a personalized approach to each relationship that we have. We are dedicated to fully understanding your organization's unique IT environment and requirements. So now we'll get right into the tool set and why the webinar is going on today. So the 5 things I'm going to touch upon are: what are we trying to accomplish? IntegraONE alerting, patch management, scripting in a Communicator, and again, web root antivirus. So what are we trying to accomplish here with this tool set? We're trying to accomplish a centralized cloud management for all endpoints. So I want to be able to see all of my desktops, all of my servers, all of my network gear in one portal. That way I'm not hopping around and looking in one portal for antivirus. I'm not hopping around looking in a different on a different server on a different piece of software to see if my endpoints have all patches or if my driver updates are done. I'm going to have one place to be able to do all of that. So that's getting from behind the desk with mundane tasks. I can come in, I can take a look, I can make sure my backups are happening, I can make sure that my servers aren't running out of space, the CPU usage is intact, and if not, then I can remote directly in and get to that machine and add whatever resources I need to. So that allows me to come in the morning, take a quick look over the portal, and then get on with tasks that aren't sitting there patching machines, aren't sitting there writing a script so users are not having issues logging on, etc. So overall, it reduces our time managing our endpoints. I can remote into all of my endpoints from anywhere. I don't need to access a VPN, so if I'm at home, the same way I would remote into a desktop in the office is the same way I'd remote into it at home. And we're going to monitor endpoints for performance and availability. I want to know the issues that are happening on my network before my users do. So if I can predict that something's going to happen, email flow stopped happening, I'm having trouble communicating to a user that may be remote, I'm going to know that beforehand. I can take steps before the user's day is becoming impacted, which overall helps our business runs. Then I'll have one place to view all of our asset details. So if I want to pull the warranty information across 10, 15 of my endpoints that I think are expiring in 2019, I can do that. And I can pull the serial numbers from them. I can pull the product keys, Microsoft, Adobe, whatever key I'm looking for, I'll be able to do that. And I'll save time with powerful automation capabilities. So there's a scripting tool that's built into this that I'll show you here, but we're not relying on GPO anymore. So users can be working from home, they can be traveling. And if I need to send a command out to their machine, they don't have to be attached to the network to do that. And then delivering a secure environment to your company, bringing relevant and easy to read reports to management. So one report we can do out of this, or out of any tool that's like this, is an executive report. But how well am I getting myself there? How well did the patches that came out from Microsoft a couple weeks ago get applied? How up to date are we on antivirus? Are any machines infected? And if so, are the infections cleared? If I can bring those types of reports to management, then I'll be saying that I've been doing a great job of managing this network here. So how do we get there? So the next couple of slides I'll talk about IntegraONE alerting, but to touch upon it real briefly, it's a massive crowdsourced database with over 2,500 predefined alerts based upon your server needs. So we're going to install a piece of software that's called the FusionONE Toolset on our server. It will scan what our server is doing all day. So if it's a domain controller, if it's Exchange, if it's a file server, how much space does it have, what's the manufacturer, HP, Lenovo, and it'll begin to set itself up for alerts that are relevant to that server. So even though there's 2,500 different alerts that it's capable of looking for, it's only going to set it up for the 100, 200, 300 that it's going to need. And then that's going to be relevant, and then it's going to begin to kick alerts off to me that are going to make sure that I know that this server is having issues. So if it's having issues with mail flow, I'm going to get that alert. I don't need to go in there and set it up. It already recognized it from the moment I install it. And those tickets are created and alerted to you via email, chat, phone, text. That's how you can know that something's happening with your server. So if it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock tonight, and there's a critical alert popping off on your server, you can get a phone call, you can get a text, you can get an email, whatever is going to be best for you. We also have a desktop agent schedule that's part of that. So that means clearing temp files and other proactive things in order to keep our desktop endpoints up to date as well. This toolset also includes LogMeIn Pro. That's going to be a quick, fast, reliable remote access to from anywhere to anything on your network that's related to a server, desktop, Macintosh, Windows. It doesn't make a difference. We're going to discuss patch management. This is whitelisting, blacklisting of Microsoft security updates, as well as third-party patching. That means we're doing Adobe, Java, WinRAR, etc. A scripting engine with over 250 pre-written scripts, so it's going to be pretty easy for users to receive scripts when I can just drop right in. So if I want to map a network drive, I just put my IP, I put my drive letter, and I map it to the 5, 10, 15, 20, all of my users. It doesn't make a difference. And then we'll also talk about the Communicator, and that's allowing your endpoints, your end users, to know that they are protected. So you'll put your company logo down their taskbar. I'll show you a little screenshot of our IntegraONE logo on our personal, or our machines here on our network. And that way your users will know that they're enrolled into your services that you're having from your IT department there. So what's IntegraONE alerting doing? We're going to install an agent. So that's our IT staff there in the top there with the head in the blue shirt. So you have an unmanaged server there, servers that you guys have not managed to date. You've just been remoting into and looking to make sure that things are running. When you install the agent, it will scan and provision itself, and they begin to send all of those server events that are happening. It will scan all the logs and send that out to the data center. So that data center is where the IntegraONE portal lives, and it starts to set itself up for all of the real alerts that are happening on your server. So when we first scan a server, we'll get error messages or alerts, and it'll begin to tweak itself based upon what you guys are having happening in your environment. And if things are bad, they can be addressed by your staff. If things are false positive or things are expected, you can begin to build that knowledge right back in, and then get real clear defined alerts sent directly to you that are going to be catered to what you guys are looking to do every day. And you'll have tickets sent right back to you that you can work on and update or schedule. So if you get a ticket from this tool set that says, hey, I'll pull one up actually here. So this is what you can expect to get out of this tool set. So you have a condition family for this ticket. It's a hardware. The condition name is Dell Server Monitoring Hardware Log at or near the size limits. The ticket type is assigned to you. And then you have the category and the subject. So it's not a critical alert, it's a critical non-impact alert. And the key things at the bottom there is a description impact, telling you exactly what's happening, and then the actions to be taken. So anytime we kick off a ticket from this tool set, it's going to have a link to tell you, hey, here's what we recommend how to fix this. And then if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask IntegraONE staff, and we'll be able to provide some insight on top of what you'll get. But this is the example of a ticket that would be emailed directly to you, and then you can respond back in email, or you can log into the portal here. That would be part of the tool set, and update it yourself, close it out, schedule it, assign it to somebody else. That's the key element of what you're trying to get accomplished here. So moving on to patch management. The patch management with this tool set is not built upon WSUS. It's its own unique engine, and it's providing a proactive approach with testing and issue remediation before patches are deployed. And how we're doing that is by whitelisting patches and blacklisting patches. So you see on the right-hand side, there's 4 different types of patches. Microsoft security patches are the most critical ones to the network. And on the second Tuesday of every month, Microsoft issues those patches. We wait about 2 weeks before we whitelist those patches. And how do we whitelist those patches? Is we subscribe to many different feeds from manufacturers. A real life scenario is a couple months ago, KB article came out from Microsoft. It had some issues with Zebra printers, which are common in manufacturing and where you're going to have receipt printers. So Zebra sent out a notification to everybody that was using that software. I tried to hit as many people as I could, and they said, hey, if you install this KB article, you're going to lose functionality until we can figure out what went wrong with this Microsoft patch. That Microsoft patch came out on Tuesday. Zebra put out that notification bulletin on Wednesday or Thursday. What we did was we scanned every one of our users that had Zebra printers, and we blacklisted that patch. Microsoft non-security patches, those would be critical updates, driver updates, tools, update roll-ups. You can push that out with this. Mac OS X patches are part of this as well. And then third-party patches. So there's about 20 third-party applications that we can patch with this tool set. Those being Java, Adobe, WinRAR, iTunes, and a few others. Below is a screenshot of just an example of how you'll be able to set things up. So you have security updates, critical updates. You just check the boxes for what you want to apply. You can put your optional updates out there. And then the key thing is turning off the Windows update messages. So one of those nagging screens that pops up for users that don't have a tool set such as this is in the bottom right-hand side is, hey, your machine's out of date. And that just nags you until you get back in date. We'll turn this tool set will turn off those messages That way your users don't get prompted with that, as well as the same thing goes for the Java and Adobe updates. In the top right, where you have the box, a big black box that says Adobe's out of date, etc. Those things all go away. We turn those off via the registry, and then we start to push out these updates in the background. Oops. Somehow I got to the end of my presentation. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is just a more magnified view of what we're looking to accomplish here, and this is where we checked in the updates for updates, update rollups, definition updates, tools, application server packs, and again checking that box. And then the lower half of that same screen is us setting up delay for knock testing, which would mean whitelisting and blacklisting patches. So we can push out updates as soon as they come available, but if we check that delay for knock testing, it will delay patches for 2 weeks until they're verified. And if you as a user want to blacklist it, there's an option to say, hey, here's the 8 patches that are pending. I want to blacklist these ones across my environment. One of the selections there is allow patch downloads 24/7. You can also schedule patch downloads that only happen between 12 and 6. They can happen overnight. We allow patch downloads to happen on many of the endpoints 24/7. And the reason for that is at this point, Microsoft pushing those updates out and not installing them hasn't caused any issues for us in years. So we'll let those patches live there, and then we'll install them after hours. So there you see it's set up between 7 p.m. and 3 a.m. So on Tuesday nights, our users or the users for this environment here would know that their patches are going to install then. And then a reboot will happen Wednesday, if applicable, between 3 and 5 a.m. The key point of this slide here is knowing that you have these configuration options. You can do your patches on a weekly basis. You can do them on a daily basis. You can do them on a monthly basis. And then below there, you see generate tickets for patch failures after 30 days. If a machine does not get a patch or does not get updated for 30 days, you'll get a ticket for it. You can reach back out to that user saying, hey, we need to bring your PC in and get it up to date, or you need to turn it on. There's probably a reason it hasn't been updated for 30 days, and commonly it's because they hadn't powered it on, or perhaps there's corruption that are happening in their operating system where they're pushing patches, but they just won't install. Right here is just an image describing what is exactly happening with the patch assessments and what's happening on a day-to-day basis. So you'll see there on the left-hand side, patches are deployed via a patch policy, and then a patch assessment happens. Do those patches that were just installed need a reboot? If no, it'll go again, all patches installed. If they're not, then they're going to install it and then go through that patch assessment again. If a reboot is needed, it will then look to see when is a reboot allowed to happen, as per that last screen I had there. And if it's allowed to happen, it'll automatically reboot that machine, or it will begin to put it in a restart needed state, and you can reboot it yourself. The user can reboot it. And if a reboot does happen, it'll do the patch assessment again, and then it's just an endless loop. But this diagram here gives a good idea of what's going to happen and all the different settings you can see in the portal. So one big feature of this tool set is the Windows 10 feature update management. So commonly customers will come to IntegraONE and say, what's the best way I can manage these Windows 10 updates that are happening? And these are just feature updates. They come out about once a year. I put in there 1809 on this sheet here, but I think 1703 is one of them, 1603 is one of them. And if you don't have your machines up to date, Microsoft is going to force you to download a 4.5 ish gigabyte file, and it's going to run that update at any point it wants to. And that's if you don't update your PC every 365 days. So if 1809 comes out on October 1st, 2018, they're going to want it out there by October 1st, 2019. If you don't do that, then it's going to be forced upon you. What we're able to do with this tool set is schedule those updates to happen. That way, if 1809 comes out right now, we can scan which machines are. If it's October 2nd, 2018, we can scan all of our machines and say, hey, we're going to do this group next week. We're going to do this group in November. We're going to do this group in December. That way, it has a predictable approach to all the end users we have on our network, because if we're downloading 4.5 gigabyte patches and there's 5, 10 people doing that, it's really going to slow down the network. And then as soon as it happens, it's going to reboot the machine. So we've had a lot of users complain about this with Windows 10. And this is one way that we can control that and begin to get some predictable results out of it. So there is a scripting engine built into this. It's basically a predefined scripting engine allowing for powerful automation system where you enter the variables into scripts. So these scripts are already written for you. Add local admin, you just type in the user, you type in the password, and then you can run that script. Connecting a printer, it's just as simple as typing an IP in, what drive letter you want, and you can map it to an endpoint, and you can have that run multiple times. So every time a user logs in, connect the printer, and this is happening through this software that gets installed on each endpoint, rather than GPO or something else that's going to happen on a network where it has to see the server. This is going to be built right into their PC, so every time they log in, it connects this printer, it maps this drive, etc. Communicator, as I mentioned a couple of slides back, this is something that shows up on your client's tray down in the bottom right. So right there you see circled, I have the IO logo that's on my PC, and this allows your end user to know they are protected by your organization. So it's pushing your company's logo out to all the machines. That way, users begin to identify, hey, I have my machines covered by my IT organization because it has my logo, it has their logo in it, and it gives them peace of mind. Even if you guys are doing Windows updates and you're doing proactive maintenance on their endpoint, this logo we found over using this tool set for 5+ years is something that the end users have a peace of mind with. And you can create different menus off of that logo, so you can click it and you can have remap network drives, remap network printers, give the users a little bit of convenience there where they don't have to call the IT department to get certain things done. You can put those scripts and build it right into that little logo there and allow them to do some things. That way they take some stuff off of your plate that commonly they're asking for. You can also send messages to all of your users' inboxes. So with that, you can put a little message out there that says, hey, email's going to be down tonight for maintenance, or please let me know if any issues are happening with your machines. You can send messages outside of email, and then you can have them acknowledge it as well, so they can't move on with their day unless they acknowledge it, hit OK, or they answer yes or no, etc. Another thing is if they click it down there and they're calling you from home, and you can say, hey, let's say that they hit this button that says system information. It'll pull up their IP, it'll pull up their username. That way, if they're working from home and they want to call in and have an issue, and let's say that they don't have internet, you can tell them, go down there, click that button, and if they don't have an IP, quick way to start to diagnose that issue. And then you can also have to contact your staff via email webpage link. So link down there to your ticketing system internally, link down there to how they get in touch with the IT staff, cell phone number, etc. Included with our FusionONE toolset is a WebRoot antivirus license. So each one of our customers that are using this have the ability to install WebRoot. It also monitors about 22 to 23 different other antiviruses, including Trend, McAfee, etc. But it does include a WebRoot license. If you're not familiar with WebRoot, it's a cloud-hosted antivirus tool. It's the lightest and fastest endpoint security agent. Scans are done in under 30 seconds, installs under 5 seconds, and that's because it's a 1 megabyte file, even a little bit smaller than that. All users are instantly protected against any new threats. So it's a cloud-based antivirus tool, which means it's constantly checking in with the outside to see if things are malicious. So it doesn't have definition update files. It's looking at hashes within files to see, hey, is this thread bad? Is this thread good? And with that, it has an automatic rollback. So if it scans something, if an EXE gets on the machine and it doesn't like it, we can allow it to, depending on our settings, we can allow it to run. But if it's, if it's kind of in the middle there, it will open a notepad text file inside the user's PC and start to write all the changes that began to happen. And let's say a couple hours go by or a day or two goes by and that file actually wasn't what we wanted it to be. We can set that machine to be rolled back and to now perform like it did before that file got on there. But that's one of the features of WebRoot is doing that journaling and allowing that automatic rollback to happen. So any file that we don't know if we want to run, we can know what all changes happen and roll the machine back to before that file was on there. And then it also has a cloud firewall built in that protects you. You can stop phone home attacks and ensure only policy-approved applications run on these machines. Oh, that was a slide I meant to get out of there. So why FusionONE? FusionONE is going to be the right choice, the FusionONE toolset, because we are dedicated to ensuring your choice of the FusionONE toolset is the very best investment your organization can meet. We're focused on helping you meet your business objectives and exceed the expectations of your customers / end users. Right now, we have over 110 satisfied customers using this application that I spoke about. So, little thing for everybody that's attending today, if you have time to complete a short survey after this webinar, you'll receive a $10 Starbucks gift card. And to wrap everything up here, I want to say thanks for joining. There's my contact information there. If anybody has any further questions or if they would like to schedule a demo of this tool set that I spoke about and see the features for yourself, install a trial for a couple of weeks and see how it works on your network, please feel free to email me there at jconsumagno@integraone.net, or you can give me a call there at 724-524-0697, and I'll be happy to discuss this with you further. If anybody has any questions, feel free to type them into the chat there in the bottom right, and I'll be happy to answer them. We have a question there that says, does it make a difference if I have remote users or not? And the answer to that is no. So when you install this software, it's a completely cloud-based software. So if you install it while you're internal and you have a user head home, it will not make any difference whether they're internal or external to your network. You'll still be able to remote onto their machine and help them at any point. And then all the software functionality will remain consistent whether they're inside the network or outside the network. So that's installing patches, that's running scripts. If you want to send an application out to them, such as Google Chrome, if you want to install some accounting software that you guys have internally, you can run that script whether they're internal or external. So it will not make a difference. All right, well, it's just about 9 o'clock here. I haven't seen a question come across there, so I just want to thank everybody for joining this morning. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and I look forward to speaking to you guys all in the future. Thanks. Bye.